Phillies vs. Dodgers, best of five in the National League Divisional Series. Philly Sports Talk here. I'm Coy Camiscioli. Going to preview the series for you. Nothing crazy. My predictions, keys to victory for the Phillies, and we'll talk some pitching matchups. So we'll get right into it. Obviously, if I'm the Phillies, I would have preferred to face the Reds in this series. But, really anybody knew that there was a good chance it was going to be the Dodgers. Anything can happen at best of three series, but the Dodgers kind of steamrolled their way, sweeping the Reds in two games at home in LA. So nothing really shocking there, but anything can happen in baseball. So still tuned in to watch. But game one will be Shohei Ohtani versus Christopher Sanchez. And I tell you, I'm a little concerned about this series. There's a lot of hype going into the postseason around the Phillies right now. Deservingly so. Red October's back. All that stuff's back. Obviously, the Phillies are missing Zach Wheeler. I would say probably would have been the best pitcher in the postseason. Maybe you could argue Tarek Skubal or somebody like that. But Wheeler has just been there, done that in the postseason for years upon years. And again, obviously this is not news, relatively new news with him being out. He's obviously out for a while, but it's going to be, you feel that injury a little bit harder right now. It definitely stinks a little bit more right now than it did even a little while back. So game one is going to be Shohei Ohtani versus Christopher Sanchez, as I said. And I'm going to go on the verge right now and say I kind of think that the Phillies aren't going to win this series. I think the Dodgers are going to win this series. But the Phillies have been bet against for a while throughout the playoffs. They were in 2022. They were in 2023 until they kind of became the favorites against the Diamondbacks. And then we obviously knew what happened in that best of seven. Last year, they just let things get away with them with the Mets. But now they're kind of like the underdogs, and I feel like, even though they're hosting the Dodgers obviously the reigning World Series champions. Phillies had a recent series with the Dodgers a couple weeks ago. They did take the series. They looked pretty solid. But again, postseason baseball, it's a lot different. And just looking at the starting rotation, I am a little concerned as, you look at it compared to what's going on with the Dodgers. So again, Sanchez game one. For the Phillies, game two is kind of up in the air. It's yet to imagine it's going to be Ranger Suarez more than likely. Jesus Luzardo maybe game three, Aaron Nola game four. Or maybe if it's a must-win, we rush out Sanchez and have Nola out of the pen or something like that. I don't really know, because Aaron Nola, Rob Thompson said that he does trust him with the postseason start because of who he's been in the postseason years prior. But obviously Nola has not been good this year. He had a couple decent starts towards the end of the season, but this is one of the best lineups in baseball. Nola is susceptible to the home run ball a little bit, and that's obviously that can't happen now. But maybe he gets back to the postseason form. The adrenaline starts to flow a little bit. I don't know. So looking at Sanchez, Nola, Suarez, Luzardo, no particular order for this postseason rotation for the Phillies. As for the Dodgers, we're looking at Ohtani game one, Blake Snell game two, more than likely Yoshinobu Yamamoto game three, and then Glasnow could be available for game four. And that's kind of a gauntlet of starting pitching, which is crazy. But obviously we can go to work on those guys. Blake Snell, he had a masterpiece last time he faced the Phillies. He was untouchable. So we're going to have to figure something out in this series. I think the Phillies, I don't think it's going to be a landslide. I think the series goes to 5 games. I generally do believe that. But I just think the starting pitching depth and the pitching depth in general might be tested a little bit in this series. And I think that would be advantage Dodgers. And later on in the series could cost us. So I think the Phillies jump out to a 2-1 series lead. And my logical, baseball knowledge, I think the Dodgers win the next two to win the series in 5 games. But you never know. It's baseball. Crazy things have happened. I could easily see the Phillies win this series. I'm not trying to sound like a pessimistic guy, but we'll just have to see. So that is my take on this game. And yeah, I'll probably recap, have a podcast out after the first 2 games, and then maybe another one after the next 2. And we'll go from there. But I'll see you guys soon.